All right, everybody, do not adjust your screens. Don't freak out. I am Dave Rubin. This is the Rubin Report. And yes, I am in a hotel room because right now, as we tape this, it is 2:55 p.m. on Thursday, October 16th, here in Melbourne, not Melbourne. Been made very clear to me, and I'm going to have to really be very careful about that over the next few days. Melbourne, Australia. You are watching this at 11 a.m. Eastern Time back in the States. To get here, we left on the 15th, 14th. We left on the 14th. We left on Tuesday, the 14th at 6:35 p.m. Took a 6-hour flight to San Francisco, land there a little bit after midnight, 3-hour layover there, then get on a 15-hour and 1-minute flight. They were really big on telling you that it was the extra minute it was all about that. 15-hour, 1-minute flight, and then a 15-hour time shift into the future. So we left at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday. We arrived here about 10 a.m. on Thursday. So I'm reporting to you from the future right now. Do you have a good handle on all of that? Okay. Our live show in Melbourne, which is almost sold out, is on Saturday. You can get tickets, daverubin.com/events. We'll also be in Sydney and in Brisbane. And we just got here. I'm slightly jet lagged. Let's see if we can do a show. We're mostly going to talk about leftist craziness. And we're going to be doing as many shows. Not only am I doing these theater shows, of course, but we're going to be doing as many shows on the fly, hotel rooms, kangaroo pouches, wherever we have to do them. That's where we're going to do them from. Let's do it. So, Cheryl Hines. You guys know Cheryl Hines. What you should know Cheryl Hines from, actually, is Curb Your Enthusiasm. You may know her now as Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr.'s wife, but she's a really fantastic actress who's been in the biz for decades at this point. And she is now making the rounds because she has a new book about her career and life called Unscripted. It has nothing to do really with Bobby Kennedy's, with RFK's political positions or his, it's a little bit, it's about their marriage, so it's a little bit about that evolution, but it really is not about him. But she's making the rounds on TV talking about the book, as one would do when one has a book, and she went on The View, and you can imagine what they turned it into.
The problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history. I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think that he is less qualified.
He spent his career studying toxins, studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
Okay, so even though I'm thousands of miles away, I can still get a headache while watching Sunny Hostin and the ladies at The View. Yeah, first off, she's on the book tour. Now, of course, she knew this was going to happen, but she's on the book tour to talk about the book, not really about RFK. For Sunny to come in and he's unqualified, this guy has been fighting Big Pharma for his entire life. He also wrote a best-selling book. We can check if it was on the New York Times bestseller list. Not that that even means anything, but why don't we check anyway? His book about Anthony Fauci during COVID and all of that stuff. He has been trying to get dyes out of children's cereal. He has been trying to figure out why kids have insane rates of autism that keep going up, and does it have anything to do with the vaccine schedules? There's this whole thing now that he led as it pertains to pregnant women taking Tylenol, and does that have anything to do with autism? What else? The seed oil stuff, and getting all these restaurants that are now frying in beef tallow again, which is way healthier. Like, it's not even that this guy is just qualified. Like, I get it. I get what Sonny's saying. Like, he doesn't walk around in a white lab coat all day. Like, he's done actual things in life. But not only is he actually qualified, but he has a track record of caring about people's health, right? And yes, it was on the New York Times bestseller list, which is completely fabricated, but whatever. Let's go with a little bit more when they started talking about Anthony Fauci.
It has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with the utmost respect.
Some of it's good and some of it's not. That's the point.
Listen, we all have different views here.
Yes.
And when you say, misinformation, disinformation, We could go back to COVID when...
He's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
Please.
When people were saying when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID. It will stop COVID. And that was disinformation, misinformation.
We were also still learning about it. It was a novel virus we've never encountered before.
Right.
Because now the doctors will acknowledge that
and Dr. Fauci has a medical degree.
At the time, they were censoring Bobby because Bobby said, where's the science to show us this? And there wasn't any.
Man, you think Cheryl was like, I would do anything to be arguing with Larry David right now? Like, first off, the way they're so dismissive of her, we'll be like, let her talk, and it's just, Cheryl's completely right. Completely right. We've shown you the clips a million times. We're not going to show you all of the compilations that we could show you right now. You know all the times that Fauci got up there. If you get COVID, if you get the vaccine, if you get the vaccine, you're not going to get nor transmit COVID, which then the President Biden then repeated, then everybody on MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, blah, 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 blah. Him telling people that he didn't say close down the schools, and then all of the videos of saying that the schools should be shut down. Him telling people in private emails that masks don't work while he was telling us all to mask. Like, we can do all of this stuff, but it's more about the dismissive nature that they talk to him about. What does she say there? Sonny says the misinformation that her husband shared, which again, I don't know what misinformation. We can do all the Fauci misinformation all day long. Don't know what we can do on Bobby, but okay, that's one. The chaos. What chaos has Robert F. Kennedy caused? What chaos? I don't know. Is something happening in the States that I've missed while I was on a long flight? But then at the end, she says, what does she say to him? We have the utmost respect for you. We want to treat you respectfully. And it's like, well, then you could try doing that. That might be interesting. Let's do one more from Cheryl.
Even baby formula, now we're finding out there's arsenic, there's lead. Oh. So the question is, who is running HHS when they allowed lead and arsenic in a baby formula? How is that person not dangerous?
Well, two wrongs don't make a right.
No! Well, I'm saying Bobby is the one getting this out.
I know, good for him. Thank
you.
Can we clear one thing before you go?
Yes.
Yes, she's just had it with it. Two wrongs don't make a right. Joy, that is not the point. And again, what is it that Bobby did wrong? Why is it that you ladies are so insistent that we not look into why we are sick? Why do you not care that rates of autism have gone up? Why do you want to go after the wife of the guy who's trying to figure out all of these things? You know, of all of you, Joy, you're the worst one there because you're a comic too. Cheryl, she's not a stand-up, but you know, she's worked with stand-ups and she got famous because of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's like there's so many more interesting things you could talk to her about, and you wouldn't do this with anyone else. But you guys, there's Trump derangement syndrome, you guys have Kennedy derangement syndrome. It is rather extraordinary. And I just want to show you one more. We've shown you this a couple of times, but this, I think this sums up. Like, this is the guy that they think is evil.
For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump. All right. And he gave me...
Really think how crazy this is, right? Like, this is a guy who's wanted to end the chronic disease epidemic. This is a guy whose last name is Kennedy, who was running as a Democrat, who stood for, even now, does not agree with all of the conservative talking points or all of the MAGA stuff or anything else, but then saw the writing on the wall, realized what was going on here, saw how hysterical the Dems had become, how they were so in bed with the machine and the media and all of those things. And as I said to him the first time I had him on the show, which has got to be almost 3 years ago now, I don't know if you will be a Republican at the end of this, but I know you won't be a Democrat. And Cheryl, I'm pretty sure you're maybe still a Democrat or whatever, probably not after sitting with the ladies of the View, but like, that's not going to hold much more either. Like, there is no point in being in that party. We'll have more on that in just a second. But that they want that guy to be framed as bad. It's the most perfect example of where they see goodness, they automatically think it's bad. And everywhere that there is bad, which in many cases is in the city that they filmed that show in, New York City, they think that it is good. We will talk about that actually right now. Why don't we do that right now? Because Zohran Mamdani is the communist who likely, unless the polls are completely out of whack at like historical levels, I think by like 40% at this point, unless they are completely wrong, Zohran Mamdani is going to be elected the mayor of New York City. We're going to have a full-on communist. It doesn't matter if you call him a communist, a Marxist. He self-proclaims he's a socialist. He doesn't even bother really with Democrat socialists anymore, a little bit here and there. It doesn't matter. Whatever he is a collectivist, and he is for giant government where they can promise you a lot and they will take from those people, even though those people keep moving, and eventually they'll run out of people to take from, and all the bad things that come with communism. Anyway, it looks like he's about to be mayor of New York City. And he did a campaign rally with Letitia James. That's right, Letitia James, who spent years trying to put Donald Trump in jail for no reason, and now is in her own little problematic situation as it pertains to mortgage fraud, which is basically the same thing she was going after for Trump. They are now campaigning together.
We stand here today. Knowing that. The persecution of Attorney General. Tish James. Is a reflection. Of a broken system. A system that empowers. Lawless billionaires. To rule alongside. Corrupt politicians. A system that gave us the perversion of justice, an attack on democracy, and Donald Trump himself. We know that this is not just a story.
Okay, so first off, Letitia was just out of frame right there. They did a bunch of things together over the last couple of days. Why is it that they talk at these rallies the exact same way the Hamas people do? Remember the rally a couple of days ago, just as the hostages were about to be released and the quote-unquote genocide was wrapping up, which you'd think they'd all be happy about? Remember the guy that was up there right outside the Fox building calling, "We want more and louder October 7th"? Why do they do that chanting thing? But we could do that. Would you guys work with me for a second and do a little chanting here? I want to get it right. Let me get it right. Zohran Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani
Is a fucking communist.
is a fucking communist.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Who, if becomes mayor of New York,
Who, if becomes mayor of New York,
will destroy the once greatest city
will destroy the once greatest city
the world has ever known.
the world has ever known.
Wow, everyone's getting Australian Wagyu tonight. That was incredible. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? They are just all awful robot clones of each other. Here's Letitia herself at Zohran's rally.
You see, I know what it feels like to be attacked for just doing your job. But I also know what it feels like to overcome adversity. And so I stand on solid rock. And I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up. You come for me, you gotta come to all of us.
We're all in this together. First off, that's not her accent. I don't know what she's doing at the end of every sentence and all that stuff. And lady, no, I am more New Yorker than you, right? Like you people, I don't care if you're actually like, I don't know if Letitia James from New York. Can we Google, is she born and raised in New York? New Yorkers, real true New Yorkers, you are the reverse of what a real true New Yorker is. A real true New Yorker, you know what that is? That's somebody that if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. That you will bust your ass and relentlessly pursue what your dream is. And you will work with all sorts of people from all sorts of life, from all walks of life to do that. And you will not just be this, yes, she was born in Brooklyn. I was born in the same exact place as that is just awful. Letitia and I, can we find out what hospital she was born at? That would really be something. If it was Brookdale Hospital, that would be screwy. And how old is she? What if, wait, how old? She was born in the 58? Oh, she's a lot older than me. But that would have been something if we had been switched at birth. You know what I mean? In the hospital, if there had been, and my parents never knew. All right. Anyway, forget all that. Here's Zohran at the rally quoting a Marxist-Leninist. Go.
With this much darkness, it takes courage to light a new path. As Thomas Sankara once said, fundamental change only comes from the courage to turn your back on the old formulas, the courage to invent the future. Together, that is exactly what we have done.
Guys, joking aside for a second, like this guy is so absolutely dangerous, and I said it months ago, and I mean it. If you are sane, assuming he wins, like again, there's just everything is pointing to him winning. So it would have to be just like a cataclysmic failure of all of the polls. If you are a person of means, if you are a person who loves freedom, if you are a person who loves the ability to get on a subway and not be attacked, or the ability to lock your door and not think your house is going to be broken into, or to go out at night or go to the theater, or just anything decent. If you are just a decent human being, you must leave that city, and that is deeply, deeply, deeply sad. I'm going to read to you for a moment here a bit about Thomas Sankara, who is the Marxist-Leninist that he just quoted there. He was the communist leader of the Burkina Faso from 1983 to 1987. He banned political parties and independent trade unions, consolidating power under the National Revolutionary Council. Hundreds of former officials, journalists, and military officers were executed or disappeared during purges meant to cleanse the revolution. You see what they're doing? It's all about the revolution. The revolution is coming. It is going to get very bad. I'm trying to warn you people, even though I am thousands and thousands of miles away. Here is Zohran, because you know one thing that they don't love is they don't love when they get questions, or you know when people protest them or anything else. They'll shut that shit down real quick. They pretend we don't like it, even though, let's say, right-leaning people go all over the world. What did Charlie Kirk make a career of? Going everywhere and talking to people. Oh, you know, if people protested, hey, come on up, talk first, blah blah blah. But what do? They have a plan in place so that if anyone protests him, they know what they're going to do. It involves music.
Now, who knows? We might have some hecklers tonight. We don't really know what's going to happen. So I just want to give you some instructions on what we're going to do if we are interrupted tonight. Basically, anything goes wrong, you're going to hear some music. Let's hear that music now. Please. Listen, I have a musical theater degree. I will fucking sing if I have to. All right, so what do we do when we hear this music? What do? We stand up. We stand up. We move. Everyone up there. We can do it. There we go. That's it.
Do you guys get it yet? Like the Reagan line, how is socialism going to come to America? It is going to come with a smile. It is this. It is the theater director who is a Marxist, who is an elitist, who comes from rich parents, who's got the lo-fi music in the background and the soft lens and is shaved just right and knows how to dance and sing, ushering in the evil that every single one of us who are American that our ancestors fled to make this great country. So good luck with all that. He's also a member of the Democratic Socialist of America, who have endorsed him. They put up this statement. It's not specifically about him, but if you want to see if the radicals dig this fella, listen to this. Earlier this week, the Palestinian resistance announced that a ceasefire agreement had been reached and would entail the end of this intensified stage of the genocide. This will not end Israel's assault on the Palestinian people or the theft and occupation of Palestinian lands. DSA harbors no illusions that Israel will honor any negotiated agreement that preserves Palestinian life or self-determination. Across the region, Israel terrorizes the people of Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Qatar, and Iran, while wielding the implicit threat of nuclear engagement to violently impose its fascist, expansionist aspirations. Our role is to end U.S. complicity in Israel's genocide and apartheid at every level, in our communities, our government, our workplaces, with every economic and political tool at our disposal. We proudly join together with our comrades in solidarity until justice is rendered for all Palestinians. The struggle for liberation continues. Solidarity forever. That is so, not only is it, there's so many factually incorrect things there, obviously. There was no genocide, there is no apartheid. I don't think they even said apartheid there, but there was no apartheid. You all know there was not one Jew living in Gaza before October 7th. There ain't one Jew living there now, and nobody's heading over there, and I assure you that either. That Israel is fighting with all their other enemies. I can also guarantee you this, mark my words, this is the internet, people clip it if I'm wrong. If none of those places, say Qatar and Yemen and Lebanon, etc., if they don't fire any rockets into Israel, they're not going to get any rockets. Like, it's all, everything is just, it's all about the revolution. It's all about the revolution, and the revolution is getting dangerously, dangerously close to our shores right now. You might want to try a Balance of Nature bar. That might help you out if the revolution comes. If you're looking for an easy way to get more fruits and vegetables into your day, Balance of Nature fruit and veggie supplements can make it simple. Each capsule contains the natural goodness of 16 whole fruits and 15 vegetables, all freeze-dried, lab-tested, and made without binders, fillers, or flow agents. It's 100% whole food ingredients, just as nature intended. You can take the capsules with water, chew them, or open them up and mix the powder into your food or drinks. However you use them, they deliver the original balance of color, taste, and smell straight from real fruits and vegetables. Balance of Nature is all about making good nutrition convenient so you can get the benefits of whole foods wherever you go. Right now, when you visit balanceofnature.com, you'll get a free fiber and spice supplement plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer when you use code Rubin at checkout. That's balanceofnature.com, code Rubin. A little more about the revolution over in Minnesota. They had this mayor, this guy Jacob Frey. This is this pathetic, sort of limp-wristed loser who's pandered to all the progressive ideas, defund the police, everything. He runs around speaking in Somali like he thought that was his way of pandering to them, but he just wasn't Somali enough. So now Ilhan Omar has officially endorsed Omar Fateh, even though Jacob Frey spoke Somali. I wonder if he gets the Duolingo lessons back.
Well, I'm excited to announce that I will be supporting Senator Fateh for the mayor of the city of Minneapolis.
Our Congresswoman, who I'm really excited to have her support.
And with that, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar put her stamp of approval on a grateful state senator, Omar Fateh, who envisions a city that is more equal.
Minneapolis seems to be a tale of two cities, one for the wealthy and the well-connected, and the rest of everyone else.
The Congresswoman believes the 35-year-old senator, a Democratic Socialist, can lead with a progressive agenda.
I have trust in the senator's track record that he will find a way to make sure that we have ordinances, legislation that is passing through that speaks to the desires and the needs of the residents of the city.
Guys, did we bring the Ilhan Omar puke bucket? We didn't bring it on, nobody brought it on the plane, so it's gonna be hard for me. I guess I'm not gonna spend much time analyzing that though, but I would again say good luck. It's the exact same thing. Democratic Socialists, too many up there. We're gonna take from them, we're gonna give to you. People will flee, there won't be enough stuff. Everyone can sit here and promise everything for free. It is utterly meaningless other than it will destroy cities. And then when you throw in a dash of the jihadi stuff, it also becomes a problem. Plus, she married her brother. Would somebody do something about that? Is anyone watching this? Please. And what happens over time when you let all of the good ideas, the good institutions crumble? They just start getting wacky. This one, I almost couldn't believe this story. So Canterbury, this is crazy. The Church of England is now covering the Canterbury Church, which was built in 597 AD. That's a long time ago. They are now covering the Canterbury Church in graffiti to better represent diversity, because I assume that's what the Canterbury Church has always been all about. All right, you get the point. It's going to be a mosque soon enough anyway, and trust me, they will get rid of the graffiti. Don't worry about that. One more here before we get to a RubinReport.locals.com community Q&A. Let's stick with the UK for just a second, because another crazy thing that they're doing, they have imported all of these people. They are actively trying to destroy their society. They are electing many of them. They are covering up rapes of their young girls, all of this lunacy. But the other part is that they are now actively turning the government against their own people, whether it's somebody that happens to put up a tweet saying that they're against illegal immigration or whatever it might be. We see all these videos of grandmas being arrested and all this other stuff. If you stand, 100 feet outside an abortion clinic and just say you like babies, you're going to get thrown in jail. But who's the UK government really focused on? Yes, it's those pesky white men. Is there anything worse? Listen to this from the UK government's website. Terrorist ideologies. They are worried about the extreme right wing. We define extreme right wing terrorism as active or vocal support of ideologies that advocate discrimination or violence against minority groups. The most three common subcategories of extreme right wing terrorist ideologies and their narratives are cultural nationalism. Western culture is under threat from mass migration and a lack of integration by certain ethnic and cultural groups. Well, that's true. That's true. White/ethno-nationalism. Mass migration from the non-white world and demographic change poses an existential threat to the white race and Western culture. Well, that's also true. It doesn't mean you should be racist and say, I am white, I am better than anyone else, but it's fundamentally true. And then white supremacism. They love white, these people. The white race is biologically, culturally, and spiritually superior to all other races. I mean, tune into the NBA and tell me if that's true, right? Like, it's just silly. It's just silly. I said one more. We're just going to let's just come back to America for just a second, because we played you a couple of videos lately. Last week we played you this video of the Seattle mayor, and they were asking him about the criminals, and he's like, I want to know more about them. Like, was a criminal molested? Did they not eat that day? Like, what's causing these people to rape everybody? Maybe somebody just had a low sugar spike. Well, this notion that we need to know more about why criminals do things seems to be bubbling all over the place. Here is Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Theetge, I think is her name, and she has a very powerful message to the criminals.
And so my message to everybody, learn how to behave in our city, but especially learn how to behave in our downtown and our Fountain Square. And our officers will approach you if you start to behave disorderly on Fountain Square. Because these things sometimes start as a minor altercation and then evolve into something bigger. So do not come downtown, especially on Fountain Square, if you don't know how to behave.
Guys, just learn how to behave. Would you just stop doing that? Why are you doing that? Are you hungry? Did something happen to you? Did you get a bad grade in school? Could you stop raping those people? What is and these are particular places we would prefer that you not do those things. Could you? And then you wonder why Seattle's falling apart, why Cincinnati's falling apart. Could you just stop shooting people in Chicago? Would you be able to do that for me? Could you do, like, that woman should be maybe qualified to be a second grade teacher. She is not qualified to be the police chief. And that's all I've got to say about that. All right, we're going to get to a couple of RubinReport.locals.com community Q&As. And then we are going to eat some Australian Wagyu. If you've ever been seriously hurt in an accident, your injury could actually be worth millions, and most people have no idea. Insurance companies love to lowball claims, offering way less than what you deserve. That's why there's Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys across 50 states. They've been fighting for people for more than 30 years, and they don't settle for lowball offers. Just recently, they won $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia, and $6.8 million in New York, all way above what insurance companies offered. And the best part, it's completely free unless you win. No upfront costs, no hidden fees. It takes only a couple minutes to see if you have a case. Did you know you can start a claim with America's largest injury law firm in just one click? It's super easy. Just go to forthepeople.com/Rubin or click the link in the description and pin comment. All right, here we go. Nimbus says, do you think future generations will view the Democrats of today similar to how history remembers Maoism, Stalinism, Nazism, etc.? I mean, that's a great point. I suppose it depends on who wins this worldwide cultural, political war, right? If they win, well, most of us are going to be in the gulag. I'll let you guys know what gulag number I'm in, and maybe you guys could come and visit. We could do live shows together and all that fun stuff. But if we win, yes, should the ideas of everything that we've shown you in this show, whether it's the hysterical women of The View going after the wife of the guy in charge of HHS because he's trying to make sure kids get less poison in them and they're upset about that, or whether it's any of the videos we just showed you about Mamdani or Letitia James or Fateh and Ilhan, like all of these people, they're ushering it all in. They're doing it on our watch. We don't know what to do about it in some grand sense. We don't. Like, if they're not doing anything outwardly illegal, although I definitely think many of the Democrats are working with nonprofits that are doing illegal things and all that. But like, if they're just exercising their free speech and they're getting brainwashed morons to vote for them because our education system is so bad. So it really just depends who wins, and we best pray that it is us. Jacqueline says, hey Dave, my friend and I are attending the Melbourne show. I did it right, I think. Did I do it right? And you have to move your head like that when you say it every time. And have been lucky enough to get meet and greet tickets. The question is, how long are you spending in Australia, and what state are you looking forward to visiting the most, and why? So we're going to be here for 12 days, but I think it ends up being like 14, including travel and all that stuff. We also have shows in Sydney and Brisbane, and then I'm doing a bunch of private events and a few other things. What am I looking forward to the most? Well, first off, you will get the, Jacqueline, you're going to get the 3-second hug, okay? Because you got a question in today, you're getting the extra second on the hug. What am I looking forward to the most? You know, when I finished up the tour with Jordan Peterson, we finished in Sydney, and it was the last show that we did. I've told you guys this a couple times. It was the last show that we did out of about 120 shows, something like 20 countries. And it was a beautiful, beautiful day in Sydney. And, you know, the Opera House there is just stunningly gorgeous. And we were on the boardwalk there, and it was just perfect. But we got there that morning. We did the show, and then I jumped right on the plane. So I did not get to spend any time in Sydney. I got to bounce around some of the other places. I got to do some beaches. I got to do some of the kangaroo preservation areas where you can go in with the animals. We're going to do all that kind of stuff with the guys. I just really want to see the country, eat the food, get to see what's going on with the people. You know, here in Melbourne, I did it right again. Here in Melbourne, they've locked down like crazy. So I'm looking forward to getting out tonight and talking to some locals and finding out what's been going on over here. This is kind of, from what I'm understanding, like the leftist bastion of the country. But bizarrely, we walked around, you know, for a little bit this afternoon, and it was pretty freaking clean and nice. And, you know, no, Joey, you didn't get raped or, yeah, so everyone seems to be okay. Glenn says, what do you think about the theory that many of the unreturned dead hostages are because those hostages show evidence that they were murdered, raped, and or tortured? Well, it's definitely murdered. We know that much. Raped and or tortured for sure. So I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I think there were at least 13 women that their remains are still there. There's more than that overall. There's absolute evidence, and I told you guys, I went to the Israeli military base and I saw the 47-minute video where they can show you, because of where blood is on bodies and all sorts of stuff, like there is absolute evidence of rape and all kinds of things. And the fact that, I mean, think about it, they get the living hostages back, but then they have the remains. Like, try to imagine the remains of these people, what condition that is in. Apparently one of the 4 bodies that they just sent back wasn't even an Israeli, it turned out to be a Gazan. Like, it's just such a mess. But I would say at this point, in a weird way, Hamas has been so blatant about the things that they do. I mean, they recorded all of the stuff, right? They live streamed all the stuff. They literally took Israelis' phones and put it on Facebook Live and called mothers to say these things. So they didn't do what the Nazis did. The Nazis recorded things for historical purposes, but tried to hide it when it was happening. These guys did the complete reverse. So I don't think it's suddenly that they're like, oh, now we're somehow tricked everyone into thinking we're the good guys. The people that follow them down that path of evil, like they're going either way. Larry says, hey Dave, have you gotten in touch with Jordan Peterson or his family recently? Is there anything you could share about his health? So I have not said a word about Jordan's health, but his health did start failing in August. I was not informed of it, obviously, when I was off the grid. When I got back on, it was not in the show we put together when Jillian brought me back, but then Phoenix and a couple other people brought it to my attention. I don't want to say, for those of you that haven't paid attention at all, it's basically been some neurological stuff, as I understand, and respiratory stuff connected to going to his parents' house. His parents both passed away, going to his parents' house. They lived in the same house for like 50 years, and there was a lot of mold exposure. I don't know that I should say any more than that. I have spoke to Michaela privately, his daughter. I've spoke to Tammy privately. He is getting better. Like, if you got a couple extra prayers, say them for him. I've been saying prayers for Dennis Prager. It's been it's partly why I haven't brought up the Jordan thing. I didn't have anything to add that was outside of what Tammy and what Michaela had brought up, but also, Jordan in his condition now and Dennis in his condition, these are two of the most important human beings in my life. So it's been a little bit of an odd year as it relates to that. And then Charlie getting killed, right? So like just some weird stuff there. But no, I don't really have any information that isn't public. Like I have a little nominal stuff. But yeah, if you pray, throw an extra one in for Jordan. Let's talk about Perplexity AI, and then we'll have more on the other side. Let me ask you something. How much time do you spend every day clicking around on your web browser? Searching, scrolling, typing, juggling endless tabs. It adds up fast, right? Well, there's a new AI-powered web browser from Perplexity called Comet, and it's completely changing the way we interact with the internet. Comet isn't just another browser. It's like having a personal assistant that lives inside your browser and actually does things for you online. You can ask Comet to handle tasks, and it literally clicks, types, searches, and scrolls just like you would to get things done in the background while you go about your day. Comet can shop for you, make reservations, book flights or hotels, summarize articles or videos, send emails, schedule meetings, pay bills, find promo codes, even unsubscribe you from spam. I tried it myself, and watching Comet actually do things in real time is wild. It's like seeing the future of web browsing unfold right on your screen. You can even check out the demo to see Comet in action. So if you're ready to take back your time online, download Comet today at pplx.ai/Rubin. That's pplx.ai/Rubin. And when you download Comet right now, you'll get a free month of Rumble Premium. Try it today and let your browser finally work for you. All right, Talway says, I've told my roommate about your enjoyment of the Golden Girls, and he's curious who your favorite of the girl is. He enjoys the sarcasm of Dorothy and Sophia. Yes, Dorothy, played by B. Arthur, by far my favorite. But everyone that watches the Golden Girls, if you really know the Golden Girls, you can go in phases. Sometimes you want sassy Blanche. Sometimes you want aloof Rose. Sometimes you want quick-witted, acerbic Sophia. But Dorothy was the glue of the show because she was like the realist. And actually there's an episode when Stan, her ex-husband's cousin, comes from the former Czechoslovakia, and she's a communist, and Dorothy explains what classical liberalism is to her, and it says you should read a book by Thomas Paine. But she was she was the sane one in the mental institution. That was what brought it all together. And actually, when the show ended, which it ended because after 7 seasons, they wanted to continue it. She didn't want to do it anymore. I saw an interview with her where she said that she was just tired of being in that little box because she had been on the Golden Girls for 7 years. She did Maude before that, which of course was spun off of All in the Family. And she was just tired of being on television. And they then continued the show. It jumped from NBC to CBS. The Golden Palace, it was terrible about the other 3 girls running a hotel. It was really, really awful. She did appear back in for 2 episodes. But it was time to go. It was time to go for her. And once they didn't have her, it just wasn't the same. Let's see, we got 2 more here. Brian says, did David and the boys have any plans for mischief prepared for your return, redecorating, rearranging for Halloween pranks, etc.? I don't know, but I have no doubt that, well, we've gone really big on Halloween this year. We got ghosts everywhere. They're really into Ghostbusters. We've got Ghostbuster proton packs and the blasters and slime everywhere. And we got big spiders and all sorts of stuff. So I'm very excited to get back just in time for Halloween. I really didn't want to be gone for Halloween. I was gone for Halloween last year. I missed it, and I'm very excited to be back this year, and I'm sure we're all going. Well, I know they're going as Ghostbusters, and I have a feeling, well, I'm either going as a ghost or a Ghostbuster. And finally, Cecito says, when will you and your crew have Vegemite sandwiches when you're in Australia? I think by law we have to, right? Like we have to, yes, I got nods from everybody. We will have Vegemite sandwiches, and we will post pictures of it. No post-game show because I'm in a hotel halfway across the world, so we can't do it. Gotta go, but we will be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Oh, and daverubin.com/events if you happen to be in Australia and you'd like the 3-second hug. Goodbye.